We all knew that Hollywood Rip Ride Rockit was not long for this world, and we think we know what that means for Universal Studios Florida. Let's talk about that on That Park Place. Hello, I am Jonas J. Campbell, an investigative reporter for That Park Place, and here with me is the guy that I go to for all of my theme park questions, Mr. VashSky. Vash, when is the 3 o'clock parade?
Well, again, I mean, are you talking about the parade themed at 3 o'clock, or are you talking about the 3 o'clock parade? There's difference here.
Let's say it was an hour ago, but let's before we get into that, let's get into this story. This one coming from Orlando Theme Park Zone by Orlando Theme Park Zone. Rumor: Intamin manufactured roller coaster to replace Hollywood Rip Ride Rockit at Universal Studios Florida. First of all, I love saying that name, Hollywood Rip Ride Rockit. As with any kind of rumor, by the way, they spell rumor with an O-U instead of just a U. This information should be considered unofficial until Universal Orlando officially confirms. According to Orlando Park Stop's Alicia Stella, a rumor suggests that an Intamin manufactured roller coaster will replace Hollywood Rip Ride Rockit at Universal Studios Florida once it potentially closes permanently. Vash, do you have the actual story from Orlando Park Stop? Let's go over there.
What I had was a post by Alicia Stella. Get your last rocket rides in before this thing is gone fast. You'll see that fast is spelled with a capital F, as if to say that this might actually be replaced with Fast and Furious. Let me go ahead and pull up an article.
Ooh, that's a very good point. Yeah, let's go back to the quote here. Other rumors for 2025 have Hollywood Rip Ride Rockit closing permanently. Rumors suggest this attraction could be replaced with a new Intamin manufactured roller coaster, possibly similar to the drifting coaster based on Fast and Furious being built now at Universal Studios Hollywood. We have covered that roller coaster several times on this channel, and let me tell you, as a grown man with maybe not the most solid vestibular system, I am not looking forward to that Fast and Furious roller coaster coming to Universal Orlando, Florida. That thing looks amazing, but it ain't for me. Vash, tell the audience about this roller coaster.
Yeah, so it's kind of taking off of the Cosmic Rewind approach to roller coastering. You'll know that Vekoma did a lot of work on the Omnicoaster aspect of that attraction, where you had a rotational spin with that, but it was a controlled spin. It was powered throughout the attraction, and so that allows for stuff like the backwards launch, for example, to actually occur. Now, Intamin is using a similar system in order to achieve the effect that they want for the Fast and Furious coaster in Universal Studios Hollywood. However, this one's going to feature inversions with that, which Cosmic Rewind does not, and will feature the Omnicoaster technology, but in a different way that will make it feel like drifting instead of like surfing through space. As I've heard the characterization of Cosmic Rewind. By the way, if you've ever gone on that attraction, you know that you should be very excited for Fast and Furious. Although I will say, it is pretty intense. That being said, though, having ridden Hollywood Rip Ride Rockit in the past, it's rough. It's a rough attraction for sure. From what I understand, Universal wanted either B&M or Intamin to build a coaster in this space. They couldn't get either, so they went with Mer AG, which hasn't done a lot of work for Universal, and it has been a maintenance and operational nightmare ever since opening.
As I often bring up, this is a roller coaster that is great for the skyline of Universal Studios Florida, but not much else. Seems like it's a pretty rough ride. It's been scaled down quite a bit. It is as you said, a maintenance nightmare, which of course means that it is expensive to keep going. And to have something that is always present in the skyline and have people show up continuously, because you got to go a tiny bit out of your way to get to this roller coaster, to have people go that way and not be able to get on the ride, that's not good. That's not good show. We don't usually use that word to describe Universal, but here we are. And there were some rumors that this was going to be a Minions family coaster because of its proximity to the Minions Land retheme there. And, family coasters are one thing. There aren't a lot of those at Universal Orlando Resort right now, depending on how you quantify Hagrid's. That's more of a two-seater than a family coaster. So it sounds like this one will be, I don't want to say a traditional roller coaster, but something closer to what people are expecting.
Yes, and especially too, because look, you get off Rip Ride Rockit, you can walk a very short distance to Diagon Alley, board the Hogwarts Express, and when you're let off, you are basically in the proximity of two of some of the best coasters in the world. So it's like, okay, with a post, I guess, Velocicoaster world, does Rip Ride Rockit necessarily fit the portfolio that we're trying to have in Universal? I would think not, and I think that's why they're leaning away from it. Like you said, the operational maintenance issue is very, very expensive. El Toro Ryan on YouTube has a great problematic coaster series that goes into Rip Ride Rockit specifically. It's tough, folks. I mean, it's really this has endured a lot. In fact, there was an incident not about a few years ago actually, where it was just cresting over that first lift hill right there, and because they didn't actually implement their dual chain lift system, there was an incident where they couldn't the coaster car couldn't proceed forward, and well, they were stuck there for multiple hours as emergency vehicles. Yes, tried to get to them because they had to get I think a crane in that position or something to get them out. It was a nightmare. So it's time.
Yeah, it is. It is time for this to go out. Of course, there is already a Fast and Furious attraction there at Universal Florida. That is Fast and Furious Supercharged. There are rumors that is going away. Anyways, there are some people that have proposed that maybe that is where the new Fast and the Furious attraction would go. It'd be a shame to lose that queue, but I would also say that queue is very mobile, since the best parts of that queue are literally sitting on wheels right now. And there was a proposal by a former Imagineer that maybe that roller coaster could be so, since roller coasters tend to go above areas, that you could have it on that entrance area of the park could lead over to the show building area for Fast and the Furious Supercharged. Right. I don't know. We've talked about this idea a little bit between me and Vash, that opens up areas of the park that maybe they weren't intending for people to see, because Universal Studios, that section of the Universal Studios park is very boxy. It's a lot of buildings. It's a lot of things that also disguise break rooms and areas. That, for instance, that Transformers ride is literally like a warehouse where they just plop the ride right in the middle of the park. I think Jimmy Fallon is probably the same. The Mummy maybe a little bit different. Vash, you probably can speak to that better than I can. But something that spans a large area of the park and goes almost to the other end of the entire park, that would be pretty cool, especially if it's city streets or is supposed to be that city streets idea. Roller coasters that spin while you are on the roller coaster, that makes me a little nervous. Maybe I might try that, but I'd probably try it before lunch.
Yeah, well, I would recommend it. However, if you're sensitive to those things, definitely proceed with caution for sure. If you remember, Hollywood, it's kind of a terrain coaster almost, their iteration, because it's on the side of a hill, and it's really going to take in those amazing views and vistas that you get from on top of the hill right there. They don't necessarily have the same geology or topology in Florida, and with this layout right here, so there will be alterations, I'm sure, and I think we'll get additional theming for the Florida version in order to hide some of those unsightly sightlines that you get over in Universal.
Right. And either way, Universal Orlando Resort needs an update right now. They're a park that, especially right next to Islands of Adventure, it's very apparent which one of these was built in the 90s and, in the late 90s, and which one of these opened in the early 90s, or was it late 80s? It was late 80s, wasn't it? Anyways, there's someone in the comments. There we go. Someone in the comments, of course, will correct us on anything that we got wrong here. That's the beautiful thing about the internet. I say that only semi-sarcastically. The one thing that I love is if you're wrong on the internet, someone will be there to help you figure out what actually happened. Of course, if you know something that we don't about this, let us know in the comment section down below. And like this video if you like this video, and consider subscribing to That Park Plays for all the news that should be fun.
Thanks for watching That Park Plays News. For more information, consider checking out www.thatparkplace.com. And don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and send this out on your favorite social media account.